Right now at 6, the Parsons, Kansas Police Department hosts a memorial for a fallen canine officer. Plus, the city of Joplin introduces new firefighters and a new station. And a Fort Scott organization hosts an event aimed at stopping human trafficking.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. Now let's take it over to Doug for a look at the weather.
All right, good morning, everyone. Of course, heading out to the door this morning, it's not bad. We do have a lot of clouds that have increased across the region, but still, our temperatures look great. So heading out the door to school, mostly cloudy skies, about 50 degrees. Now, the southerly winds starting to pick up a little bit at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. But heading home, check this out, 65 degrees. But again, those southerly winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. So up to 61 by noon, 65 by 3. I actually think our high temp right around 66 or 67 degrees. And then we back down to 61 by 6 p.m. But those winds are going to start to kick up. Southerly winds, gust at times, especially by this evening, 25 to 30 miles per hour. And look at this. They stay pretty breezy all the way into your Friday as well. Now, this is going to keep our temperatures up, but what this will also do is bring some rain into the forecast for the weekend. So we're going to be talking about that all coming up here in just a bit.
The Monarch Cement Company and Evergy Energy Solutions announced their partnership on a solar project that they say is anticipated to serve as a model for the cement industry's use of renewable energy. They say it'll have the capacity to generate 20 megawatts of clean electricity. The project is designed to offset a significant portion of Monarch's energy consumption, reducing greenhouse gas emissions. The solar project will be located on Monarch's property in Humboldt, Kansas. Denali and the Missouri Department of Natural Resources have come to an agreement regarding storage basins in McDonald County. Last year, the Denali Company had come under scrutiny in connection with its disposal of byproducts from food facilities. In November, Denali was ordered to stop land application in the state and empty its storage basins. In an abatement order posted today, the DNR said that the department says Denali operated and maintained 3 water contaminant sources without a permit and committed other violations. According to a statement, Denali is hauling away food processing residuals stored in basins. That material will be taken to a wastewater treatment plant in Missouri or other outlets out of state. The Parsons Police Department holds a memorial service for a canine officer 5 months after the dog's death. Anthony Saviallo attended the ceremony yesterday and shows us just how much Canine Kareem meant to his community.
We all interacted with Canine Kareem, as he would wander through the police department. And certainly he was not a therapy dog, but the secondary benefit of having an exquisitely trained animal like Kareem is that he also has a personality.
More than just a dog. The best word to describe Canine Kareem: hero.
He was also cross-trained as a tracker, and so he could track evidence. He tracked lost kids. He tracked missing seniors, who had dementia. So he truly was a guardian of the community.
After his untimely death in August, this memorial service can now provide closure to Kareem's fellow officers and community.
If you ever had the privilege of being loved by a dog, you know that God exists and that God is love.
It wasn't just the Parsons Police Department that was in attendance today to honor Canine Kareem. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, as well as the Labette County Sheriff's Office and the Baxter Springs Police Department all attended to honor Canine Kareem.
For Chief Spinks, waiting to have an official memorial was necessary to discover the truth behind Canine Kareem's passing.
Nobody, wants to see any kind of criminal investigation or personnel issues drag out. But unfortunately, we want to follow the letter of the law. We want to make sure that we have all the facts.
Members of the general public joined law officers in paying tribute to a dog that served his community and who many call a hero. Reporting in Parsons, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Canine Kareem died in August due to heat stroke. The handler has since been fired and a special prosecutor has been brought in to potentially charge the former handler. Fort Scott residents yesterday had a chance to learn about preventing human trafficking. The E3 Ranch Foundation and the Bourbon County Sheriff teamed up for a presentation themed around Be Alert. It teaches parents to stay vigilant on social media and understand how predators can exploit students through it.
So our message tonight is, as an adult, you don't have to be an expert in technology. You need to be an expert in the kid that you care about based on 3 words. It's all about the exploitation of vulnerability. That means you don't have to be an expert in technology. You need to be an expert in the kid you care about. Go. What can I do to keep their vulnerability from being exploited, understanding the role that their life online plays? And that's what we're here to talk about tonight.
Fort Scott students will also view a Be Alert presentation today and tomorrow. The Joplin Fire Department welcomes new faces and a new station. 7 new faces will begin serving as firefighters for Joplin. Their graduation marks the end of training as they start duty. Jared Baker originally worked in ministry, but with the support of his family, Baker became a fire cadet.
We started training in 6 months ago on August 7th. It's always been in the back of my mind. The opportunity came up, got encouragement from my family, and so I knew this was the time to go for it.
A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held to mark the opening of Station 7. 12 firefighters will be assigned to the $4.5 million facility, working 24-hour shifts as crews of 4. Station 7's location will serve as a resource for the industrial and hazmat needs. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in the first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Some teachers in Oklahoma are being asked to return their bonuses after state officials said they were paid out in error. Plus, Disney is set to begin banning password sharing on its streaming services. And Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
And I'm inviting you on a holiday.
Boy starved and locked in a closet.
I heard screaming.
The step siblings speak out.
I would hear him banging on the wall, crying.
You won't believe what they saw.
Next, Dr. Phil.
Weekdays at 3 on KOAM TV.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, Disney is set to begin banning password sharing on its streaming services. It's a move that follows in the footsteps of one of its top competitors, Netflix. In an email to Hulu subscribers Wednesday, the company said it would start limiting sharing accounts outside of your household starting March 14th. Hulu's user agreement, along with those for Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, explicitly prevent users from impersonating someone else by using their username or password. All 3 user agreements were last updated on January 25th. It's unclear, though, when the password sharing language was added to the agreements for Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. Disney CEO hinted in August that this move was coming. At the time, he said the company planned to address the issue of password sharing in 2024. And the Federal Communications Commission wants to make robocalls generated by artificial intelligence illegal. The FCC said in a news release Wednesday, there's been a rise in these type of calls during the few years, and so the agency has proposed the Telephone Consumer Protection Act include voice cloning technology used in common robocall scams targeting consumers illegal. The FCC's announcement comes after a robocall with an AI voice resembling President Joe Biden recently targeted thousands of New Hampshire voters. The FCC said in the release, AI technology now has the potential to confuse consumers with misinformation by imitating voices of celebrities, political candidates, and family members. Some teachers in Oklahoma are being asked to return their bonuses after state officials said that they were paid out in error. Oklahoma's State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Ryan Walters, says 4 teachers have been told they will need to return up to $50,000 to the state. He does add that they're working to find a compromise. The bonuses were paid under a new incentive program that helped recruit over 500 teachers to Oklahoma classrooms. But Walters told lawmakers in a memorandum Monday that the requests to return the money were the result of an audit that found that some teachers did not meet the requirements for the bonuses. The money came from a federal grant, and at least 2 teachers are now part of a lawsuit accusing the Oklahoma State Department of Education of breach of contract. 2 of former President Donald Trump's political action committees racked up legal fees during the last half of 2023 to the tune of nearly $29 million, according to new filings. Trump's political contributors are sharing the legal expenses. Federal Election Commission records show in all, Trump's Save America PAC and Make America Great Again PAC spent more than $50 million of contributors' money on legal expenses last year. That underscores the financial costs of the mounting legal troubles for the frontrunner for the GOP presidential nomination. What will Congress do to regulate big tech? Well, that's a question this morning after lawmakers grilled the CEOs of 5 social media companies yesterday on Capitol Hill. The bipartisan group taking the companies to task over failures to protect teens and children who use their platforms. While there, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg and Snapchat CBO Evan Spiegel spoke directly to a group of families of children. Some, they say, died by suicide as a result of online harassment. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
You have blood on your hands.
Tough questions on Capitol Hill for the CEOs of Meta, Snap, TikTok, X, and Discord. The heads of the 5 social media giants also came face to face with parents who say their children were harmed. Some of them died as a result of online exploitation, harassment, and bullying on their sites.
Would you like to apologize for what you've done to these good people?
No one should have to go through the things that your families have suffered.
Snapchat's CEO also apologizing during questions related to children who died after allegedly buying drugs through the app.
I'm so sorry that we have not been able to prevent these tragedies.
Shauna Pouch says her 11-year-old granddaughter fell into a mental health crisis after she was sexually exploited on Snapchat.
They need to be held accountable for this. They need to do more instead of doing less.
The CEOs of Snap and X did express support for one of several bills lawmakers have proposed, others vowing to continue working toward a solution, as members of the committee acknowledged Congress also hasn't done enough.
It's been 28 years, since the internet? We haven't passed any of these bills.
Committee members also say they want to reform a 1996 law that shields tech companies from being sued by users. Jared Hill, CBS News.
South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham says he plans to push for passage of that reform on the Senate floor this fall before Election Day, though it remains to be seen if it will make it to the president's desk and become law. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. We'll be right back.
Ordinary is the opposite of beautiful. Because beauty excites. It energizes. It drops our jaw.
Television. Every Thursday, leap to the top. TheOutpostCasino.com for promotional details.
There's a 10-year-old girl in Sin City making a mark in the boxing world. For the past 5 years, Yelikan Boinrastasro has been training in the ring. She's earned 8 national titles so far, and she's likely one day to make it in the Olympics. Albert Boinrastro reports.
The hardware says it all. Yolicia Buenrostro is showing us what girl power is all about. This 65-pound, 8-time national champ has big dreams for the future.
My goal is to be an Olympic gold medalist and a world champion.
And a vision of how to get there.
The more I train hard, I know I'm gonna get there. I'm on my way there.
Yolicia started training at just 5 years old.
My parents wanted me to get into boxing to defend myself in case I get bullied at school.
But it didn't take long before she was hooked.
I thought it was fun.
Her mom and dad moved from Utah to Las Vegas, the boxing capital of the world, to give Yolicia a fighting chance at her dreams.
We gave it a shot for her. And man, she's doing the thing right now. She's doing her thing, so very proud.
She trains 6 days a week, spars with the boys, and holds her own against older, bigger girls.
It actually helped her confidence, taking on those challenges.
At 10 years old, she's got the mental focus of a true pro.
I just block out everything, and this is just me versus me.
And that makes for very proud parents.
I'm just super proud of her. Like, I never in my life thought I'd have a daughter doing this, you know?
So cool.
Never in my life.
And Yilka is taking part in the Silver Gloves Nationals this week, hoping to earn another belt. And one Missouri teen will have a better view of the big game than nearly all of us. The 13-year-old Kansas City Chiefs fan is going to the Super Bowl. He got 2 tickets to the game from none other than Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes back in December. Of course, he didn't know at the time that the Chiefs would make it to the Super Bowl, but as Alan Shope shows us, the teen got another surprise.
Yeah, I still think about it every day, and it's just the coolest thing ever.
No kidding, my man. What's up? Patrick Mahomes showing up and handing you Super Bowl tickets.
Even when I got the tickets at first, we still weren't even going to get in the playoffs at that point.
But the Chiefs turned it on, and Isaac, knowing he was going to the Super Bowl, has been on edge for 3 weeks, pulling for the Chiefs to get there.
First one, I was like, okay, and then whenever we won that second one, I'm like, we're 1 game away, and then once we won a couple days ago, that was just insane.
What's more insane is this 13-year-old 8th grader from Lee Summit had only been to 1 Chiefs preseason game in his life, so it's his first real Chiefs game, and it's a Super Bowl.
Obviously, since the Chiefs are there, it just made the whole experience 10 times better. You know, we're not going to get yelled at because we're wearing Chiefs gear or anything, and that we actually get to watch our team play.
Isaac's family had 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, and it was kind of a tough decision for him to decide who was going to watch the game with him. But then last week, something special happened.
Our church actually surprised us with 2 more tickets, and so then now all 4 of us are able to go.
This might be the best story of the week.
It just feels super awesome that it's obviously a one-in-a-lifetime experience and that we can all actually do it together.
Isaac says he still has no idea where he'll be sitting at the game or if they'll be sitting together, but he knows he'll have a great weekend. He predicts that the Chiefs will beat the 49ers 28-24. We'll be right back.
Tickets on sale now at neoshowarts.net. Sponsored by KOAM, Fred Harris State Farm, Fletcher Toyota. Visit Joplin and the city of Neosho.
The Oklahoma City Thunder play here. Watch Thunder Friday nights.
Thunder Friday Nights is sponsored locally by Downstream Casino Resort and Vance Automotive Group.
Well, it's turned out to be a pretty nice start to your Thursday. Temperatures not near as cold this morning. Most of us sitting into the mid-40s, and we're going to warm up pretty quickly as we go through the daytime hours for us today. 9 a.m. 52, 61 by noon, 65 by 3 p.m. I actually think most of us will top out 66 or 67 degrees. We'll back down to 61 by 6 p.m. Now, a lot of clouds. Plus, it's going to be breezy outside. Those winds are going to keep those temperatures up. Southerly winds at about 25 to 30 at times, gusting, especially this afternoon into the evening hours. Now, let's go all the way into Friday, and you can see those wind gusts, still breezy, gust 15 to 20 by the time we head into Friday afternoon. And this is all due to clouds kind of working through the region. Temperatures for us today, look at this, by the noon hour into the lower 60s all week long. We've had temperatures into the 60s. We're going to do it again even on Friday. But you can see afternoon highs, I think most of us into the mid 60s. Let's go into tonight. Still partly cloudy skies across the region. Not as chilly. We back down upper 40s. Then Friday, the clouds really thicken up as we go through the day. I do think it's going to be dry, but those high temperatures right back up into the mid 60s. And this is going to lead into that next storm system, which rolls in this weekend. In fact, let's go all the way to Saturday morning. Look at the showers starting to pick up on the Kansas, Oklahoma side, and then spreading east. Let's get another look at this. Look at the rain pushing in, so it increases all day long on Saturday. Here's 4 p.m. As we get into late Saturday, Saturday night into Sunday morning, rain just kind of pivots on top of us and sticks around. Light rain showers stick around all day Sunday, and then finally, by the time we get into Sunday evening and Sunday night, this rain will start to rotate out of here. Still a few leftover showers Monday morning, but look at this. Once we get into Monday afternoon, pretty good, a little bit cooler. Partly sunny skies into the 50s. How much rain could we get this weekend? It looks overall fairly light, but still decent amounts. I think a lot of us, a half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, and especially once you get into Kansas and Oklahoma, a lot of areas could pick up near an inch of rain. It's something we need. Stinks it's on the weekend, but it is definitely something that we need across the region. All right, let's go 67 for us today. Tomorrow's Groundhog Day. 66 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. The rain kind of settles in for the weekend, a little bit cooler into the 50s, lasting into Monday morning, but right back into the 60s next Wednesday and Thursday, and then rain back in for Super Bowl weekend.
In Topping Health Watch this morning, a North Carolina family is taking a popular kids' fruit pouch maker to court, alleging that their 2 children got lead poisoning. The investigation into their case helped spark a nationwide recall of the Wanna-Banna apple cinnamon fruit puree pouches. It's over reports of elevated levels of lead in the products, prompting the FDA to get involved. This lawsuit, one of several filed in North Carolina and nationwide. Evan Donovan spoke with the parent's attorney.
Like most kids, Rylan Flynn Robinson has his hands in everything. Last August at his regular wellness checkup, those hands revealed a secret that may have saved lives, including his own.
They did the finger prick test. She said it was high. We washed his hands, tested again. He was still high.
What was high was the level of lead in Rylan's system, and those levels triggered a state investigation, which has now expanded into a nationwide recall.
The CDC has explicitly said, and this has been known for decades, that there is no safe amount of lead in children. And lead exposure, what's scary about it, is that its injuries manifest silently.
Attorney Nicholas Williams represents a family in Hickory that has 2 kids, 1 and 3 years old, that is now suing Wanna-Banna, the maker of the applesauce pouches, and Dollar Tree, which sold them.
They seem to be doing well. We do know that their blood levels are starting to subside, but the rate of their blood lead levels as a result of this exposure was so high that it does sort of pass that threshold where monitoring and developmental monitoring is needed as they continue to develop into adults.
There are several class action lawsuits related to this recall, but this family is not a part of them. But as the Robinson Flynn family knows, there are many more victims. The CDC estimates more than 400 of them.
A lot of tears shed because you just don't know what to do.
Both the North Carolina families represented in that story say that they found the elevated lead levels the same way through a regular wellness checkup for their child. And toddlers should be eating more fish and vegetables to prevent inflammatory bowel disease. Researchers in Sweden found 1-year-olds who ate more fish and veggies had a greatly reduced risk for ulcerative colitis and other bowel issues. Meanwhile, 1-year-olds who drank more sugary beverages had a 42% higher risk of bowel disease. And researchers at Northwestern University have successfully found a way to destroy drug-resistant bacteria. Using a technique called phage therapy, they modified the DNA of a virus and introduced it to the bacterium, effectively killing it. The study is a step forward in treating antibiotic-resistant infections. And your age and gender can impact how sensitive you are to pain. A study from Ohio State University finds part of the brain which inhibits pain changes as we grow older. This leads to older women becoming more sensitive to pain than older men, but the study authors cautioned that everyone experiences pain differently. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
What time it is?
What time is it?
It's MeTV time. Me?
Watch me.
MeTV has more than 60 members.
Play where you have the edge, the player's edge. Kansas Crossing Casino, Pittsburgh, Kansas. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 800-522-4700. Must be 21 or older.
Come hungry to the SEK Humane Society's Chili Dinner Sunday, February 11th.
Right now at 6:30, if the memory of a past relationship still bugs you, the Nature Reach program at Pitt State has an unusual fundraiser for you. Plus, students at PSU held a Russ Rush to showcase some of the activities available on campus. And a Joplin couple is going to Las Vegas on Super Bowl weekend, but they started gambling even before getting there.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6:31 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. We have another warm day today, so now let's take it over to Chief Meteorologist Doug Eddy to see what we can expect.
All right, good morning, everyone. Of course, heading out to the door this morning, it's not bad. We do have a lot of clouds that have increased across the region, but still our temperatures look great. So heading out the door to school, mostly cloudy skies, about 50 degrees. Now the southerly winds starting to pick up a little bit at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. But heading home, check this out, 65 degrees. But again, those southerly winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. So up to 61 by noon, 65 by 3. I actually think our high temp right around 66 or 67 degrees. And then we back down to 61 by 6 p.m. But those winds are going to start to kick up. Southerly winds, gust at times, especially by this evening, 25 to 30 miles per hour. And look at this. They stay pretty breezy all the way into your Friday as well. Now, this is going to keep our temperatures up, but what this will also do is bring some rain into the forecast for the weekend. So we're going to be talking about that all coming up here in just a bit.
Gun Park in Fort Scott, Kansas has more trout as of yesterday. The Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks continues its latest restocking effort there. The department has been stocking hundreds of trout since November, and it comes after the department made some changes to trout fishing in the state. The season used to start on November 1st. Now it starts on December 1st and runs to March 31st. Officials say trout fishing is a great way to enjoy the outdoors.
We've been stocking trout since last November. It makes a great place for people to go. We've got great weather this week, and now we have a great thing for people to do. It's come trout fishing here in Fort Scott.
The department says the change in trout season comes after considering fish health and warmer weather. And if the memory of a past relationship still bugs you, the Nature Reach program at Pitt State has an unusual fundraiser for you. Now is your chance to name a cockroach, mouse, or rat after that not-so-special someone no longer in your life, which will then be fed to one of the program's animal ambassadors.
No, it's not still alive. So we one of the reasons why we have to do the fundraiser is because it's pretty expensive to buy rats and mice. So we buy them in bulk. So it's usually over $1,000 when we purchase rats and mice to feed our birds of prey and our snakes. So any help we can get to raise funds to help feed our critters is going to be fabulous.
And if you're hungry to donate, check out our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for more information. Students at PSU held a Russ Rush to showcase some of the activities and organizations available on campus. The hallways of Russ Hall were filled with booths, and more were on the back lawn. Event organizers said the day served as a great way for students to make some connections.
So there's a lot more effort in trying to connect people. I think Pitt State, both from our student organizations and from the institutional side, work really hard to get people connected. But this is a great opportunity to put everybody in one spot to bridge those gaps.
Organizers say they hope students use the day to find out about fundraisers, student organizations, and just have a good casual conversation that made them feel positive. A Joplin couple is going to Las Vegas on the Super Bowl weekend, but they started gambling even before getting there. Die-hard Chiefs fans Sarah and Josh Schmutz bought their plane tickets before knowing if the Chiefs would make it to the playoffs. But the odds were in their favor, and they were able to join other fans who are going to the host town of the weekend of February 11th. With tickets for the game currently at historically high levels, reaching 5 figures, the Schmitz family will watch the game from a restaurant with friends. But MSSU professor of finance Brian Nichols has some advice for those looking to buy last-minute tickets.
Chiefs fans travel hard, and they show up, and then you just start seeing, and you just make instant friends because everybody just wants to be like, go Chiefs.
Don't go, answer a Facebook ad and give someone, send someone, cash, without seeing the actual tickets.
Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey also warned fans to be wary of any suspicious ticket offerings and to take steps to protect themselves. The advice includes making sure you are buying your tickets from a trustworthy website and using a credit card for the purchase. You can learn more on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The Stanley Cup craze may have reached a new fan base. We'll have the details. Plus, we have a warm and windy day today. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
close and personal with the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Lisa Aldigas. This week on Newsmakers, we take you to the Cardinals Caravan. Our students got to do one-on-one interviews with players and alum and professional broadcasters. That's Newsmakers on Saturday, 5:30 a.m. on KOAM.
In Consumer Watch this morning, do the frigid temperatures have you feeling fatigued? Summer is 140 days away, but if you can't wait that long for warmer weather, now is a great time to book a winter getaway. Jen Sullivan has tips on scoring the best travel deals.
Is the winter weather giving you the blues? Maybe you're ready to swap out the cold for much warmer temperatures. Now is a good time to book travel.
We're after the busy holiday travel season and before spring break.
Expedia travel expert and AKA the travel mom Emily Kaufman says it's best to book domestic air travel at least 28 days in advance. That can land you roughly 24% in savings. For international travel, she says it's best to book at least 60 days ahead, saving you about 10%, but no more than 4 months out. So if you're looking to go overseas this summer, now is the time to start thinking about plans. But remember, traveling during peak summer season likely won't land you any deals, but holding off until September can help you find cheaper prices.
If you have any flexibility, it's going to be less crowded and more affordable to go at different times.
Being flexible on destinations can also land you some deals.
We're seeing an uptick in people visiting places that are a little off the beaten path, but still have the same vibe and flavor of the more popular destinations. For example, Curacao instead of St. Martin, Taipei instead of Seoul, Memphis instead of Nashville.
Being flexible with the day of your departure and arrival can also help you find cheaper options, like traveling during the week instead of the weekend. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
And bundling travel through sites like Expedia, Kayak, and Travelocity can also help you save rather than booking directly with a hotel or airline. And yesterday, the Federal Reserve left its key interest rate unchanged for the fourth straight meeting. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said it's unlikely that the central bank will begin cutting rates at its next meeting in March. The move means that the cost of borrowing is not likely to subside anytime soon. And TikTokers may find that music from some of their favorite artists, like Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny, will no longer be available on the platform. That's because Universal Music says their deal with TikTok hasn't been renewed. In an open letter, Universal accused TikTok of paying fair value for the music. TikTok shot back with a statement claiming Universal, quote, put their own greed above the interests of their artists. And the Stanley Cup craze may be reaching toddlers. Just weeks after the latest tumbler fad began going viral, stores now say they're having a hard time keeping a look-alike toy version in stock. As of last night, Fisher-Price's Wake Up and Learn coffee mug is currently sold out at Walmart and Amazon. The cup, which sells for around $9.99, is expected to be back in stock soon. And Yemen's Houthi rebels said that they fired several missiles at U.S. warships Wednesday. Hours earlier, the U.S. said it shot down a Houthi missile headed for the Red Sea. Houthis have been attacking the ships in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden since November. Spillover, the Houthis say, from the war between Israel and Hamas. What does the turmoil in the Red Sea mean in terms of how much and are we paying for certain goods? That could happen on what attacks go on. Paula Hancock has more on what's at stake.
Bab al-Mandab, a small bottleneck in the Red Sea, which translates as Gate of Grief. For centuries, it was mainly the undercurrents and reefs that captains feared. Today, it is the Houthi rebel attacks from neighbouring Yemen, sparking global diversions away from the Red Sea. Shipping research from the London Stock Exchange Group estimates that diverting a tanker from Asia to northwest Europe around the Cape of Good Hope adds almost $1 million per voyage, while doubling the shipping time. How much of that will be passed on to the consumer is not yet clear, but some analysts say the impact may not be as dire as feared in the short term.
In terms of how this could actually feed down the supply chain to the end consumer and boost the price level of goods and services that we consume in our economies, the value of the shipping service is actually a very, very small fraction of the total value of the good or service that you're buying. So there is actually limited scope for that to seriously cause inflation.
The severity of the impact will inevitably depend on the length of the crisis.
Initially, we thought this was going to be a fairly short disruption. Now I think our base case is more going towards month of disruptions, and that means a lot more cost.
The International Monetary Fund warned this week that attacks in the Red Sea, coupled with the ongoing war in Ukraine, risked spikes in food, energy and transportation costs. They also warned that if there were to be an escalation into a wider conflict in the Middle East, it would threaten global growth.
It's not the shipping costs themselves that are, getting out of hand. It is if this endangers energy supplies. Then we'd see oil prices rise. Then we'd see gas prices rise. And against that is the sort of thing that's going to spoil the party.
China, just the latest affected country to call for an end to the disruption on Tuesday.
The Red Sea is a crucial international trade route for goods and energy. We hope to avoid tensions in the Red Sea and call for an end to attacks on civilian vessels.
Disruption in the Red Sea follows disruption of Ukraine's wheat exports after Russia's invasion. It also follows chaos in the shipping industry during the COVID pandemic. Another reminder of just how sensitive global supply chains can be to unpredicted shock. Paula Hancock's CNN Abu Dhabi.
And that's it for Consumer Watch. Birthdays are up next, but right now, here's a preview of what's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you, I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, a former NFL player is trading in his pads for pots and pans. That's right. He'll be here to talk about his football career and what sets him apart in the kitchen. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
Hello, I'm Phil Sanders. We're here every week with a timely Bible lesson in search of the Lord's way. Why don't you join
Steady morning energy to help you rise and thrive?
The Pittsburgh Area Chamber's Business Expo features a Champions Hall on Friday and Saturday, February 23rd and 24th. Now is the time for area businesses to secure one of a limited number of vendor spaces. Contact Daisy at the Chamber to sign up now.
It's time for birthdays, and we're going to kick things off with Ellie Lamp, who turns 7 today over in La Harpe, Kansas. Happy birthday, Ellie. Then taking it over to Nevada, Missouri. Happy 7th birthday to Treason Nielsen. And over in Seneca, Missouri, happy 12th birthday to Ryder Murphy. It says here, happy birthday from Mom, Dad, Roman, Renly, Raylan, Nanny, and your cousins and all your family. And happy 15th birthday to Reagan Thompson over in Parsons, Kansas. And then in Ultimate, Kansas, Xavier Phillips turns 18 today. Happy 18th, Xavier. And over in Chanute, happy 62nd birthday to Jamie Layson. And wrapping it up, over in Pittsburgh, happy birthday to Kim Mossberg. And that's our list. Make sure that you submit your birthdays and anniversaries complete with pictures and any messages you want us to say to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com.
Well, it's turned out to be a pretty nice start to your Thursday. Temperatures not near as cold this morning. Most of us sitting into the mid-40s. And we're going to warm up pretty quickly as we go through the daytime hours for us today. 9 a.m. 52, 61 by noon, 65 by 3 p.m. I actually think most of us will top out 66 or 67 degrees. We'll back down to 61 by 6 p.m. Now, a lot of clouds. Plus, it's going to be breezy outside. Those winds are going to keep those temperatures up. Southerly winds at about 25 to 30 at times, gusting, especially this afternoon into the evening hours. Now, let's go all the way into Friday, and you can see those wind gusts. Still breezy, gusts 15 to 20 by the time we head into Friday afternoon. And this is all due to clouds kind of working through the region. Temperatures for us today, look at this, by the noon hour into lower 60s all week long. We've had temperatures into the 60s. We're going to do it again even on Friday. But you can see afternoon highs, I think most of us into the mid 60s. Let's go into tonight. Still partly cloudy skies across the region. Not as chilly. We back down upper 40s. Then Friday, the clouds really thicken up as we go through the day. I do think it's going to be dry, but those high temperatures right back up into the mid 60s. And this is going to lead into that next storm system, which rolls in this weekend. In fact, let's go all the way to Saturday morning. Look at the showers starting to pick up on the Kansas, Oklahoma side, and then spreading east. Let's get another look at this. Look at the rain pushing in. So it increases all day long on Saturday. Here's 4 p.m. As we get into late Saturday, Saturday night into Sunday morning, rain just kind of pivots on top of us and sticks around. Light rain showers stick around all day Sunday, and then finally, by the time we get into Sunday evening and Sunday night, this rain will start to rotate out of here. Still a few leftover showers Monday morning, but look at this. Once we get into Monday afternoon, pretty good, a little bit cooler, partly sunny skies into the 50s. How much rain could we get this weekend? It looks overall fairly light, but still decent amounts. I think a lot of us, a half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, and especially once you get into Kansas and Oklahoma, a lot of areas could pick up near an inch of rain. It's something we need. Stinks it's on the weekend, but it is definitely something that we need across the region. All right, let's go 67 for us today. Tomorrow's Groundhog Day. 66 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. The rain kind of settles in for the weekend, a little bit cooler into the 50s, lasting into Monday morning, but right back into the 60s next Wednesday and Thursday, and then rain back in for Super Bowl weekend.
President's Day sale.
During the Civil War from 1863 to 1865, the Parsons, Kansas native was part of the 52nd Kentucky Company Mounted Infantry Volunteers. We are proud to salute James Madur, a four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Denali and the Missouri Department of Natural Resources have come to an agreement regarding storage basins in McDonald County. Denali was ordered to stop land application in the state and empty its storage basins back in November. In an abatement order posted yesterday by the DNR, says Denali operated and maintained 3 water contaminant sources without a permit and committed other violations. According to a statement, Denali is hauling away food processing residuals stored in basins. That material will be taken to a wastewater treatment plant in Missouri or other outlets out of state. The Monarch Cement Company and Evergy Energy Solutions announced their partnership on a solar project that they say is anticipated to serve as a model for the cement industry's use of renewable energy. They say it'll have the capacity to generate 20 megawatts of clean electricity. The project is designed to offset a significant portion of Monarch's energy consumption, reducing greenhouse gas emissions. The solar project will be located on Monarch's property in Humboldt, Kansas. And the Joplin Fire Department welcomed new faces and a new station. 7 new faces will begin serving as firefighters for Joplin. Their graduation marks the end of training as they start duty. In addition to new firefighters, John Miles was promoted to training chief. With 19 years of experience, Miles understands what it takes to be a firefighter. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held to mark the opening of the Station 7. 12 firefighters will be assigned to the $4.5 million facility, working 24 shifts as crews of 4. And coming up today at noon, we're making beef stroganoff in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. Your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Ahead on CBS Mornings, in the Dish series, a former NFL player is trading in his pads for pots and pans. Hear what he has to say about his football career and what sets him apart in the kitchen. Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, the Parsons, Kansas Police Department hosts a memorial for a fallen canine officer. Plus, a Joplin couple is going to Las Vegas on Super Bowl weekend, but they started gambling even before getting there. But that'll wrap it up for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., and we'll see you again today at noon.
Join us for the coolest event of the year. The Polar Plunge is taking place Saturday, February 10th at the Crimson Villas. Register online or in person and organize a team. Plunge by yourself with